I started hunting at 4, and by 7 p.m. that night, I had killed the Rio. I called up a hen, 5 jakes, followed the gobbler in, and I shot the gobbler at like 15 yards. I mean, it was,
Wow.
and then I was just coming from another land trust in Missouri.
Welcome to the LandTrust Podcast, where land, technology, and the outdoors meet. Whether you're a landowner, an outdoor enthusiast, or someone curious about the future of recreation on private land, you're in the right place. Each episode, we share real stories from the LandTrust community, from unforgettable guest experiences to conversations with landowners about their land and why they choose to share it, plus interviews with leaders, shaping how we all experience the outdoors. And now, here's your host, Nic DeCastro.
Welcome to the LandTrust Podcast, where land, technology, and the outdoors come together. This episode is part of the series we do called 5-Star Stories, where we dive into unforgettable moments shared between our guests and landowners through LandTrust. I'm your host, Nic DeCastro, and I'm the founder of LandTrust. Today, we're headed to the scenic landscapes of Pawnee, Oklahoma, where Oliver Hertzog went on a spring turkey hunt at RM3 Wilderness. His trip was marked by well-managed land, great accommodations, and the pursuit of the elusive Rio Grande turkey. Let's get into it. Oliver, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So where are you calling in from today?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
That's awesome. We were just chatting right before. We're not too far from each other. I think just a few hours. I'm now in East Mobile Bay here in Alabama. So we're kind of neighbors. All right. So I'd love to hear a little bit about how this trip went. So what was the first inspiration for going and chasing turkeys out in Oklahoma?
Yeah, I just saw y'all's website, and it's kind of, I've been telling everybody it's like Airbnb for hunting. It's so easy. You look for land, and as a turkey hunter, you need 300-400 acres. I think 320 acres. Talk to Mike. Once you pay your fee, it's uploaded onto Onyx. The points are there. Mike was like, "Where are you at?" I said, "I'm at the camp." He was just calling me, and I was already there. I'd met up. He was telling me, "Hey, you need to, do the 9th and 10th because the birds need to rest because we have somebody before you." I got there at 3. His business partner, Melvin, I think, drove me around the property. I'd already had all the points, and he kind of told me where the birds were at. I started hunting at 4, and by 7:11 p.m. that night, I had killed the Rio. I called up a hen, 5 jakes, followed the gobbler in, and I shot the gobbler at like 15 yards. I mean, it was, and then I was just coming from another land trust in Missouri. So,
wow. So where did you hunt in Missouri? Which property did you hunt?
That was Riva, and that was in Halfway, Missouri. That was another one, and I can go into that one too. That was even better.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's great.
So I met Riva. I think I drove all night from Baton Rouge, got up there. She said, you probably want to rest or whatever. The birds are active in the afternoon. I had, I think, 400 acres to hunt. She showed me the property. She actually gave me access to one of her food plots that really wasn't on the property, and hunted that and saw a coyote and a deer. But anyway, I hunted for 3 days, and I basically, it was like staying at my camp in Mississippi. It was a trailer. I mean, I had the whole thing to myself. And what was nice, she actually stocked the refrigerator and freezer. I didn't even have to go into town if I didn't want to. Really, it was great. They had a church on site, a family church. Took pictures of the church and everything. It was just a cool place, and she had cattle. So I go Friday afternoon. The first call, a gobbler gobbles, and I think he was with a hen. Then went on the other side and actually called up 2 birds. I was on the private property line, but they were in the woods. So I was like, man, that was great. So that morning, I just sat and didn't even call, and ended up killing a gobbler, I think at about 9:00. Called him back off the private property, and then had another one that next morning But, if he had come across the line, and I saw him that afternoon strutting at about 200 yards in a field. So that was private property, but I had birds every
Yeah.
day. So
Wow.
it didn't take long. So I know of two good places to go back to. And, I just didn't, I was even looking into hunting in Tennessee, but what was cool is if you don't do it in time, Tennessee got bought up pretty quick, but
Yeah.
it was a great experience. Great experience.
I mean, you show up to Oklahoma and within a few hours you're tagged out. I mean,
Yeah.
That's pretty great. So you did a little LandTrust road trip. It's funny. We see that quite a bit. We'll see you'll see a string of bookings come in from somebody, and it's just them. It's always turkey hunters. It's them just like jumping state to state to state and knocking off, states and birds and all that, the subspecies and whatnot. So I see a bunch of turkey fans behind you. You look like you might be a bit of a turkey hunting fool.
Yeah, that's a COVID bird above me in 2020. I got
Nice.
that on. We have 58 acres in McCall Creek, Mississippi, and then the three birds, those are from Tylertown last year.
Are you on the quest for 50 states or just knocking out the subspecies or what?
Kind of both. So my mom and dad live in Melbourne, Florida. So I went this year, and I went to the Triple N, Bull Creek, and Three Lakes. And Florida's popular. That's the first time I've been.
Huh?
Yeah, trying to. I called up 12 hens, saw hogs, deer, squirrels. The only gobbler I saw was a jake. So, but
interesting. Okay. Osceolas have gotten extremely popular. It's one of those birds. We have a handful of properties on LandTrust where you can chase Osceolas. It's definitely the price. I mean, it's supply and demand, right? They've gotten really, really popular. So the prices are definitely a lot more expensive than I think pretty much everything else. I don't know if you saw, by the way, we just listed our first international property. It's a property in Chihuahua, Mexico, where you can go DIY for Goulds.
Oh, I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah. So
I think I'll get my Grand Slam before I get the 50 states, but my cousin owns a Weakneck Archery in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. So if I stay with him, I'm a couple hours from the birds in Pennsylvania. So it's kind of cool. One bird states are easy. So
yeah, definitely. So when did you just discover LandTrust this year? Or have you seen us for a couple of years?
I think it was about a year ago. I just was searching, and it just, one of those searches, and you're like, oh, let me log in and see what this is about. And it was the easiest search engine. It was just like, plug in turkey hunting in Tennessee, and then all this stuff pops up. And just being able, it's so easy once you start. You can talk you're talking through LandTrust, and then you're talking with the owner. Then once you pay your fee, now you're just texting and calling back and forth. And I was really impressed with both. I have pictures of the camp in Oklahoma. It was. I was like, wow. It was just a barn made into a camp. It was really nice. And they really have really good deer hunting. I may go back and and the reason why I started doing this is as well as living in Alabama, I hunt in Mississippi, hunting Louisiana, and the pressure down here is just, there's a lot of good hunters, and just going to areas that farmland that that probably not, there's a lot of game, and it's just for what I do and what I do for a living, I'm very busy. So I like to make sure that I'm hunting quality land and have fun. Of course, like in Florida, I hunted for 4 days and probably walked 20, 30 miles and, didn't even hear a gobbler, but that was public land. So, my season was real condensed. I had a really good time. And in fact, every place that I hunted private property, I got a shot.
It is one of those things, like public lands. I just moved, I started the company in Montana, and obviously the West has a ton of public land and it's a great resource. However, you're dealing with pressure, and you're dealing with, it's everyone's public land. So, there's no my spot, your spot. And frankly, it's why I started the company. I'm at a stage in my life, I always joke, very envious of the 20-something-year-old single guy or gal who can go and scout and hunt 50 days a year and grind it out on public. It's awesome. Enjoy that time in your life. But I've got little kids and a business, and you get these precious days or a handful of days a season, and I just don't want to. I want to eliminate the variable of that. Right. It's still hunting, as you know. It's it's not like it's a given, but I just don't want to go out and deal with other people personally. Yeah. And we hear that a lot from, as we've been doing the podcast more, and we're just kind of getting this out there. A lot of these conversations, effective use of time is something that kind of keeps coming back up. Again, it's still hunting. It's not guaranteed. It's DIY. You're just getting access to properties. But yeah, it's nice to show up and know, like, all right, I got the place to myself. I can kind of hunt it how I want and, approach it the way I'd like to.
Yeah. I knew in Oklahoma, if I didn't get one that afternoon, that morning, the way I hunt, I was going to probably get on one that morning. And I had great weather. And even the landowners with the weather, I was texting them. I was like, hey, I was going to push the date, but Mike, the guy in Oklahoma, I'd had the weekend. And I was like, look, can I come Friday afternoon? I'm done in Arkansas, and he was like, yeah, sure. And so it was just very flexible. And I just can't believe how people were saying you got to go hunt other states. And I learned that this is the way to go.
Yeah, turkey hunters, once they found us, obviously we have all sorts of hunting. We have fishing. I don't know if you've looked at any of the other non-hunting stuff. We got a bunch of activities, but once turkey hunters found us, they're like, I don't know, it just fits really, really well with them. Yep. It is interesting, coming from Montana, the species that everyone is after is elk, right? It's like a big deal. It was, I went and actually came down, I'm wearing mossy oak right now. I came down or maybe it was last spring, and turkey hunted down there in Mississippi at one of our properties. And the Southerners hunt turkeys like, people in the West hunt elk. These birds are different. You can go kill, a turkey in Montana pretty easily. They're just not pressured that much. It's not really the target. Yeah. Down here, these birds are like educated. Yeah. And it's I'm a newbie. They do. I'm a total newbie. I don't present myself as some sort of turkey killer. I've only actually killed one bird in Missouri. But it was a different ball game down here.
Yeah, there's that was crazy when I was calling these birds in Oklahoma. I was trying to play it soft, and the louder I got, I'm like, wait a second, they're responding better the louder I got. That's not the norm in Louisiana or Alabama or Mississippi. You start yelping loud, they're not going to respond. They're like
they're on to you.
Yeah. They're like, that's not a normal hen.
There's a dude over there. Yeah,
it was a really good time.
Well, that's great. So you like to deer hunt too?
Yeah, I've got a few here in my office. I've killed a few nice deer. I think I killed my best deer. I think it was 2007. I killed a 10-point. Now that was right off of public land. Around the Homochitto National Forest, we had a hunting club, but I like to just get a doe here. But turkey hunting is
that's your thing.
Yeah, that I am jealous. If I could take a sabbatical from work for about a month and a half, I would.
Yeah, it's funny. I was at one of the episodes we just did was with another guy who loves turkey hunting. He's a retired police officer in Chicago, and now he's getting after it. He's trying to knock down all 50 states. I'll have to send you that. I think actually we're releasing that podcast today. But yeah, he's at a fun stage of life where he gets to go do that, and he's been using LandTrust a ton. Any bucket list trips you got your eye on, or?
Willamerium. I think if I can get up to South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming.
Yeah. We've got some amazing properties up there. Just some big, beautiful ranches, and totally it's just such a different ecosystem. Than down here. So
I've been elk hunting to New Mexico. That's kind of like the same terrain. It's beautiful. But
you'll probably murder them up there because, like I said, they just don't get they don't get hunted like they get hunted here.
Yeah, I've caught to I've been to some uh, shows and guys talking about turkey hunting, and then like they're like in Colorado, the louder you call, and it's just different in the South. They get hunted really hard. If a pickup truck stops here in the South, looking out in the field, whatever's in the field is going back in the woods. But
Yeah.
they get hunted
Yeah.
365 down here. They get it's tough, but I've bumped into so many hunters for years. Hey, you need to go out of state, and I finally did it, and I don't regret it.
That's great. Yeah. We've got a property up on the Maine border, Maine and New Hampshire. Um, and so you can kill a Maine bird and a New Hampshire bird. It straddles a border.
Oh,
And
okay.
that would be, to me, it seems like such a cool, I went to school up in the New England area. It's a beautiful place. I never hunted up there, just doing school at the time. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's just some really cool places that it's one of the funnest parts of my job and building this business. And I know the team here loves it. It's just seeing the landowners and, your interaction. The landowners are honestly my favorite part because you're working with so many multi-generation families who've owned that ground for a long time. They got
Mhm.
cool stories. They're great people. And they just want to see you have fun. It's not, it's not an outfit, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's just these are just landowners, right? Many of them are just farmers and ranchers, and they just
Yeah.
love sharing their properties with people like yourself who, they see the turkeys every day. A lot of them don't hunt. It's
Yeah.
funny, especially with turkeys. Western landowners like people want to shoot turkeys. It's like such a like oddity to them. Like I don't know, they're eating our grain every day.
Yeah. I even
So
had fun on the farm in Missouri. Reva, there was a tree that fell, and a bunch of our cows got out. So I called her, and I kind of helped her get the cows. I played
yeah,
Yellowstone for a little while with the Jeep, trying to corral them. They're like a bunch of little kids. They want to get out of the gate to eat the stuff
yeah.
that's in the ditch and the new growth, and they don't want to eat the grass. She deals with it all the time. So it was a fun time.
Yeah,
Oh,
landowners, the land interaction, we see that, is one of the things we see in the reviews all the time, is just how much both sides love meeting each other. And
yeah,
landowners love sharing their land, guests love kind of meeting them and hearing their story and seeing the place and all that. And from a hunting perspective, like who better? Yes, it's do it yourself. But at the same time, the landowners who live there every day, they're like, hey, this is kind of how the place works. And so
yeah,
you get that like really good intel that, only someone who lives there every day, could give you.
yeah. I mean, when she told me these are where the turkeys are at, and they know. I mean, this is where they'll tell you. And then what's kind of cool is everything's on Onyx Maps, and I have that.
Hmm.
I've used that tool. It's so great that you're on the right it's like, hey, and I'm like, look, I see the property line right here on Onyx Maps. I'm not going to get on your neighbor's property.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
it's a good tool.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
used it when I was in the Ouachita National Forest in Arkansas. I mean, you know exactly where you're at. So
It's great to see the property boundaries for sure.
yeah.
Well, Oliver, I appreciate you joining us today. If you were to give any advice to someone who'd considered or maybe seen LandTrust but hasn't booked anything yet, any advice for them?
I would say, for turkey hunting, what I was looking for is, around 300 acres, something. And what I do is my advice is, when people say you have turkeys, you look for turkey pictures. I mean, and Reva and Mike had birds. And what was cool is as I was talking with them, they were sending me pictures of, hey, a week ago, hey, we saw some birds. Here's a picture. So, I mean, just don't and I've talked to a lot of my other hunting buddies, and they're like, how can you, it's not an outfitter, how can you be sure that you're going to see something? And it's like, hey guys, this is, you know if you get the right acreage and it's all by yourself, you're gonna, you can even look for lodging, and it's so user friendly. You can bring your RV. I don't have one, but I always look for, you can search for lodging. So I
Yeah.
think it's that a lot of guys are like, oh, I want to save money and hunt public property, and if I get one, great. But like you say, just with spending a little bit more money, I mean, your quality of hunting goes out the roof. I wish I could have gone to Montana. I mean, it's like, it makes it to where I'm already scheduling, or well, I will already, probably by next month, I will be scheduled up for next year.
Wow.
Um, uh, just I'm going to try two or three states is very affordable through this LandTrust. I mean, and like I said, it's Airbnb for hunting. I tell people that all the time. And I was even sharing it on Facebook the other day with some hunters. They're like, oh, how'd you do this? Where'd you find this? And it's just great. It's easy to and for me, it was just great. It was just, you can sit in your bed, sit on your lazy boy and just search to go hunting. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
It's kind of like I always say, like, we as hunters, anyone who loves hunting loves to just drive back roads and look at ground and all that. This kind of allows you to do it a little bit from your lazy boy or whatever. Have you used our Field Notes product yet? Have you seen that?
I've seen it, but I've not used it.
So any properties that you're looking at, you can follow them. And then we'll notify you when landowners push updates. So, and then you can go like on LandTrust.com in the upper right-hand corner, there's a Field Notes button. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like an Instagram style feed. It's just like all this stuff that landowners are pushing out updates. It's almost like a personalized scouting feed.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend if you're looking at, like, oh, it's kind of an interesting one, just click follow and you'll get an update when they push out, could be game camera photos or video or, anything the landowner wants to kind of push out about their properties. So it's a newer product, but it's a really fun one. We designed it because I wanted to use it. It's like, hey, I'd love to know what's going on these properties when the birds start strutting or whatever. And then it's like, all right, I can go. I don't have to text them. They can push it out and I can book something.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I appreciate that, Oliver. And, thank you for coming on, sharing your story. Thank you personally for, being a customer of LandTrust and sharing it with other people. The team here, we build it with love. We love to use it. We love to, the service of our customers and our landowners too. So again, really appreciate you being a customer and sharing the good word.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Well, that was Oliver Hertzog sharing his experience he had hunting Rio Grande turkeys at RM3 Wilderness down in Pawnee, Oklahoma. Big thanks to Oliver for coming on, sharing that story with us. And hey, by the way, if you're interested in getting out on that property, you can go search on LandTrust.com, search for RM3 Wilderness, and you will see the landowner Mike has a couple different listings. That specific one was Block W. So you can go again to LandTrust.com, search for RM3 Wilderness. You'll see a few of those listings there. You can check them out, connect directly with the landowner and book your next trip out there. We'll also throw the link to that listing in the show notes. By the way, if you haven't, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff for this podcast. It really does help the algorithms. They really want the engagement. And if you do those things, it will help get this podcast out to more people. And you can just send it directly to friends or family or buddies, whoever you think might enjoy it. Also, if you're a landowner and you're thinking about listing your land on LandTrust, it's really easy to get started for free today. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can go to LandTrust.com/landowners, or you can go and call or text us at 406-709-8450. We've got a team of folks, real live human beings, no AI, who are hanging out, waiting to talk to you. All they do is talk to landowners all day. They help answer any questions you might have. And if it sounds interesting, we can even start building your listing today. So again, you can go to LandTrust.com/landowners. There's video testimonials from other landowners who've been with us for years. Thanks for tuning in to the 5-Star Stories series here on the LandTrust Podcast. And remember, if you're looking for your next great outdoor experience, you know where to find it, LandTrust.com. We'll catch you next time.